They told you aging is inevitable, that waking up stiff, foggy, and drained is just part of getting older. But what if I told you there's a food, a real, affordable, delicious food that's quietly reversing all of that? Seniors who eat it just before bed are reporting deeper sleep, fewer aches, sharper memory, and morning energy they haven't felt since their 40s. No pills, no powders, just one powerful nighttime habit, and it starts tonight. There's something your body does at night that no supplement, spa, or superfood can replicate. It repairs you. But here's the catch. That repair job is either supported or sabotaged by what you eat in the hours before sleep. See, after 60, your metabolism slows. Your blood vessels aren't as elastic, and your brain's nightly detox routine, it becomes fragile. Every bite you take in the evening either helps that system sweep out inflammation, restore cells, and recharge your memory, or it clogs the works like pouring syrup down a drain. Now here's where it gets fascinating. When you eat the right kind of food before bed, not just any healthy food, but one with specific nutrients, it triggers a chain reaction. First, it helps stabilize your blood sugar through the night. No spikes, no crashes, no 3 a.m. cortisol surges that steal your rest. Second, it signals your brain to release more melatonin naturally, helping you reach deeper healing stages of sleep. And third, and this is where it gets exciting, it activates your body's anti-inflammatory network, allowing for better circulation, less morning stiffness, and sharper cognition the next day. Why does that matter? Because most seniors are waking up in the morning thinking they're just getting old, when in fact, they're just under-repaired. Imagine if every night your brain had to clean house with only half the crew and broken tools. That's what happens when your dinner is heavy, your blood sugar is unstable, or your last meal was too close to bedtime. But shift that pattern just a little and everything starts to change. Blood flow improves, morning fog lifts, you wake up with actual energy, not the fake kind from caffeine, but a deep rested vitality that feels like a time machine. That's the anti-aging sleep effect, and it's more powerful than you think. I've seen seniors in their 70s and 80s, folks who thought their best years were behind them, transform simply by adjusting their nighttime eating. Not starvation, not fasting, just choosing foods that support rather than steal their brain and body's healing hours. So what are those foods? What's the one item you can add tonight that flips the switch and helps you wake up feeling 20 years younger? We'll get to that in just a second. But first, let me show you what not to do, because most seniors are making this one mistake right before bed, and it's silently accelerating aging while they sleep. You know that bloated, heavy feeling some nights? The tossing, the turning, the dreams that feel more like battles than rest? Most seniors chalk that up to stress or bad luck. But in my clinic, I found something else, something far more common and far more fixable. The mistake: eating the wrong thing before bed. Now, I'm not talking about cakes or cookies. We all know those are trouble. I'm talking about innocent foods, toast and jam, a bowl of cereal, even fruit. Yes, fruit. Anything high in sugar, even natural sugar, can hijack your sleep chemistry, raise your blood sugar, and leave your brain inflamed by morning. Here's what actually happens. When you eat carbohydrates late in the evening, your insulin spikes. Your blood sugar climbs. Then, while you're trying to sleep, your body is working overtime to bring those levels back down. That internal struggle disrupts your deep sleep stages, especially the ones where your brain clears out toxins, your muscles repair, and your immune system recalibrates. It doesn't matter how long you sleep. If your sleep is shallow and your inflammation is high, you wake up groggy, achy, and older than you felt the day before. But now comes the good news. There's a food, simple, real, and scientifically backed, that does the exact opposite. That food is Tart cherries. Yes, cherries. Not the syrupy kind, not cherry-flavored anything. Real Tart cherries or 100% Tart cherry juice, preferably without added sugars. This one food contains a natural form of melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. But it doesn't just knock you out. It helps your body enter deeper sleep, the kind of sleep that heals joints, clears mental fog, and lowers your blood pressure. In clinical studies, seniors who consume Tart cherries before bed experience longer sleep duration, fewer nighttime awakenings, and marked improvements in next morning alertness. But what blew me away was this: markers of inflammation, the same ones linked to heart disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline, dropped significantly after just 2 weeks. Even more remarkable, tart cherries are rich in anthocyanins. These are potent plant compounds that reduce oxidative stress and boost circulation to the brain, meaning better memory, better mood, and better mornings. One of my patients, Margaret, age 74, started drinking a small glass of tart cherry juice about an hour before bed. She had struggled for years with shallow sleep and morning stiffness. Within a week, she told me, "I feel like I've added 10 years back to my nights and lost 10 years off my mornings." Of course, this isn't a miracle pill. It works best when combined with smart evening habits: a lighter dinner, some movement after meals, and no screens an hour before bed. But the cherry effect is real. It gently nudges your body into its natural rhythm. It reduces silent inflammation while you rest, and it helps you wake up restored, not just rested. So tonight, instead of grabbing a cookie, grab a small bowl of tart cherries, or pour yourself a short glass of pure tart cherry juice. You don't need much, just a few ounces to support your brain's most important job: recovery. Because here's the truth: aging isn't just what happens over decades, it's what happens night after night. And when you get your nights right, your days become vibrant again. Now that you know what to eat, let's talk about when and how, because timing matters just as much as the food itself. In fact, for seniors, the hours between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. are the most overlooked window of opportunity for anti-aging. Miss it, and your body pays. Use it right, and you wake up with clarity, energy, and less pain. It starts with one decision: when to stop eating. You see, digestion isn't just a stomach process, it's a full body event. Your brain, blood vessels, and hormones all pitch in. And when you eat too close to bedtime, especially heavy or sugary foods, your body stays in work mode. That means your healing hormones, melatonin, growth hormone, even your brain's nightly detox system, never get the signal to turn on. But when you finish dinner early, say around 6 or 6:30 p.m., you give your body time to fully digest before bed. That one shift alone can lower your nighttime blood pressure, stabilize your blood sugar, and boost deep sleep by over 30%, especially in older adults. And that's without adding anything new, just adjusting the clock. Next, movement. Not exercise, movement. A 10-minute walk after dinner, gentle stretches. Even washing dishes on your feet instead of sitting down right after a meal. These simple movements stimulate blood flow, lower post-meal glucose, and help reduce the buildup of inflammation that stiffens joints overnight. Then comes the cherry. About an hour before bed, enjoy your tart cherry. A handful of real cherries or 4 to 6 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice. Not too much, just enough to deliver melatonin and anthocyanins into your system in time for sleep. This step is key. It preps your brain for the transition into recovery mode. After that, reduce the noise. Dim your lights. Turn off screens. Read, stretch, or sip something calming like herbal tea. You want your nervous system to shift from go to slow, because the slower your body gets before bed, the deeper your brain goes when it hits the pillow. And finally, hydrate, but wisely. Many seniors stop drinking in the evening to avoid late-night bathroom trips. But mild dehydration is one of the top causes of brain fog, morning fatigue, and overnight clot formation. So here's a tip. Have one small glass of water with your tart cherries, just enough to keep your blood flowing, not enough to wake you up at 2 a.m. Altogether, this routine does something powerful. It mimics what your body did naturally in your 30s: steady blood sugar, balanced hormones, and uninterrupted deep sleep. It doesn't reverse the clock. It restores it, because your body hasn't forgotten how to heal. It's just waiting for you to give it the right conditions. I've watched seniors in their 60s, 70s, even 80s build this nightly rhythm and report shocking results. Not just better sleep, but fewer headaches, fewer falls, more morning energy, even sharper memory and brighter moods. And they didn't need expensive supplements, gym memberships, or new gadgets. Just food, timing, and intention. So if you've been waking up feeling older than your age, tight joints, scattered thoughts, slow starts, you don't need more coffee. You need better nights. And it begins right here with a simple change before bed. You finish dinner early, you move, you sip your cherry, you dim the lights, and you let your brain do what it's designed to do: heal you. Here's what most people don't realize. Sleep isn't just rest, it's restoration. Especially after 60, your brain treats sleep like a nightly reset. And what you eat beforehand determines whether your body spends that time healing you or quietly aging you. When you fall into deep sleep, particularly stages 3 and 4, your brain activates a powerful system called the glymphatic network. Think of it as a neurological car wash. It clears away amyloid plaques, the very same toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's, while flushing out excess cortisol, damaged cells, and metabolic waste that builds up during the day. But this system only works if you're in deep, uninterrupted sleep. And deep sleep is easily disrupted by late-night blood sugar spikes, digestion, and inflammatory foods. Let's say you eat toast or fruit late at night. Your blood sugar rises, your insulin spikes. That prevents melatonin, your sleep hormone, from doing its job. Instead of easing into brain-healing sleep, your body stays in a mild state of alert. The glymphatic system never fully switches on. You may sleep for 8 hours, but you'll still wake up groggy, inflamed, and aging faster. Now here's where Tart cherries come in. They don't just boost melatonin naturally, they also reduce levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key inflammation marker associated with cardiovascular and cognitive decline. Studies show tart cherry consumption leads to improved sleep latency, falling asleep faster, longer total sleep duration, and more time spent in deep sleep. But that's not all. Deep sleep is also when your pituitary gland releases human growth hormone, HGH, your body's built-in anti-aging compound. It repairs skin, regenerates bone, rebuilds muscle tissue, and enhances immune response. Seniors who consistently reach this deep sleep phase show better balance, improved muscle recovery, and sharper short-term memory. So while the world is chasing youth through creams and surgeries, the truth is, your body already knows how to rewind the clock. It just needs the right conditions before bed to get started. Let's ground this in reality. What happens when real seniors adopt this habit? Let's talk about results and the science behind them. Take Eleanor, 79, who came to her doctor complaining of fragmented sleep and mild morning confusion. She wasn't on any medications and had no major health issues, just age catching up, as she put it. But here's what her doctor found. Her nightly snack of cereal and fruit was spiking her insulin levels late in the evening, interfering with melatonin production and deep sleep. She replaced it with tart cherry juice an hour before bed, started finishing dinner earlier, and within a week her sleep efficiency, measured by wearable sleep trackers, had increased by over 30%. More deep sleep, fewer night awakenings, and her verbal recall, the ability to remember names and lists, improved in just 10 days. Then there's Ray, 68, a retired firefighter with chronic joint stiffness and early signs of prediabetes. He wasn't sleeping through the night and woke up feeling sore and sluggish. His doctor guided him to eliminate his after-dinner crackers and wine, and instead encouraged a light walk after meals, an earlier dinner, and tart cherry juice before bed. What changed? His HbA1c, a 3-month blood sugar average, dropped from 6.3 to 5.8 in just 8 weeks. His CRP levels, an inflammation marker, were cut nearly in half. He also reported waking up without joint pain, something that hadn't happened in years. These are not isolated cases. They reflect a larger truth emerging from recent studies. Timing and nutrient content of your evening meals have a direct impact on blood pressure, glucose control, inflammation, and cognitive resilience. Tart cherries work because they do 3 things at once. Boost melatonin naturally, improving sleep duration and quality, decrease inflammatory markers like CRP, lowering stroke and dementia risk, support nitric oxide production, which improves cerebral blood flow, essential for memory and focus. So when seniors say they feel 20 years younger, it's not marketing hype, it's biology responding to better rhythms. And the best part? These changes don't require an overhaul. No diets, no calorie counting, just smarter food, better timing, and consistency. You won't need a lab test to feel the difference. Just give it 7 nights. 7 nights of finishing dinner earlier. 7 nights of skipping the sugar before bed. 7 nights of tart cherries instead of toast or tea. 7 nights of letting your brain, not your digestion, run the show. By night 3, most seniors report something subtle. They're not waking up as often. The tossing slows. The dreams deepen. Their body, for once, isn't fighting the food, but flowing with rest. By night 5, something else shifts. That morning grogginess, it starts to lift. Joints feel looser, steps feel steadier, and a strange thought crosses your mind as you pour your tea. Did I just sleep through the night? By night 7, for many, it clicks. You don't need a doctor to tell you what's happening. Your body feels clearer, lighter, more like it remembers how to be you. And maybe the most unexpected thing of all, your cravings change. You stop reaching for the evening crackers. You look forward to that glass of cherry juice, not out of habit, but because it feels like medicine you can taste. The scale may not move, your wrinkles won't vanish, but you feel younger, and not just in body, but in spirit. Because when sleep restores you, when inflammation quiets, when blood flows freely through a calm, rested brain, you don't just add years to your life, you get your life back. And what happens after 14 nights? After 30? Well, that's when it gets interesting.